and welcome to the Staunch Talk Show. My name is Princess Mahogo. And welcome to the Staunch Talk Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we are joined by the CEO of the Academy for Environmental Leadership South Africa. Heidi Bartis is her name, and she is joining us all the way from the Northern Cape to speak to us about a very interesting topic and a very serious one. In South Africa, we have a growing issue and a crisis, rather, at that, of students who are not able to be placed in universities because of space shortages. The AEL is rather an institution that is offering a better option to students to study for 1 full year, a course that will impact their lives forever. So thank you so much, Heidi, for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much, Princess. It's really great talking to you. We have been wanting to speak to each other for a while. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, it is indeed a crisis in South Africa. There's so many students who want to enter university. And we know of long queues standing at the admissions office to try and get in, but our universities can only take so many students. So places are limited, and we must look at other options as well. And that is why I'm grateful for the invitation to speak about the Academy for Environmental Leadership in the Northern Cape. That is an option that can be considered.
And for someone who is hearing about the Academy for Environmental Leadership in South Africa, what exactly is it? And just briefly explain what the institution is, what it stands for, what it does.
Certainly. Princess, the Academy for Environmental Leadership, and in short, we call it the AEL, is a registered higher education institution with the Department of Higher Education. And we offer a 1-year NQF5 level conservation ecology higher certificate. This is an option for students who are possibly unsure what to do or could not get into university, and they don't want to stay at home for a year and put their development or their studies on hold for a year. This is another option that can be considered. So the AEL, is a beautiful campus in the Northern Cape on the banks of the Orange River. It's really like a green oasis in the desert. And here's where young people come to study and to grow, and really make that bridge between, being a 18, 19-year-old and moving into adulthood and becoming just a little bit more confident about themselves while they are obtaining a higher certificate in conservation ecology. Yeah, so that is who we are in terms of really developing young adults to become responsible, environmentally conscious global citizens. That is our focus, or our purpose, is to grow those communities.
And I think that it's quite a very important role that you play, taking into consideration all these changes that are happening worldwide, not even just in South Africa, worldwide, in terms of climate change, the environment. We're seeing all this development. So if we have people that are really educated about what is going on, it is better for us, because then we'll make much more informed decisions moving forward on how to collaborate and coexist with the environment as human beings. I hear you talking
Yes.
a lot about how the institution is a beacon of hope and how it has hands-on tailored education for young people. What then is what then is unique rather about the AEL's offerings?
Thank you, Princess. The AEL's offering is unique in quite a few ways. In terms of the program, it's where you have academics meeting adventure. So students come and they study, they are introduced to academic work at a level higher than matric, it's an NQF5, and they are also met with adventure as part of that academic program. What is also great about the institution is that we really have a good pass rate. We have had in 2024 100% pass rate. So we have had a success rate annually between 95 and 100% pass rate. So we have a group of expertise, our academic staff with great expertise, and we have support staff who look after students and support them when they are facing problems or issues, so that they can focus on their work. And this ideal environment actually is conducive for learning, and it is conducive for success. And that is why most of our students pass, because they are supported, and we really have a great team sharing knowledge with them. We also have, which is different to other institutions possibly, a module on personal development and conflict management. So right through the year, we work with the students for them to get to know themselves better. It's all about personal mastery, getting to know themselves better, and also just crafting a path for them and deciding what is the best way forward for them. So if they are uncertain about what to do after matric, this is a good program where it is combined with personal development, where they can actually find their path in terms of what they want to do next.
Mm. And if there's a student right now or a young person who is then watching and is like, okay, I'm hearing all this great information about this institution. How do I get my hands dirty? How do I apply? I want to be there. How do they go about doing that? Where do they find? Do you have a website where they can reach out to you? Do they apply online? How do they go about applying?
Certainly, Princess, they can visit our website, and that is at www.ael.ac.za. And there they will find application forms and more information about the institution. If they really want to speak to someone, they can certainly book a call with our head of student acquisition. And her name is Janet. I can also give the number, Princess, where Janet can be reached. She can be reached on 083 229 8770. And they can certainly book a call with her just to have a conversation about the offering and the experience, and how a higher certificate in conservation ecology at the AEL can be of value and benefit to them.
Mm, mm. And then, how long are your courses? How long are the courses at AEL? Is it like 6 months? Is it a year? Or are there different durations for some of the courses?
Princess, currently we have one program, and that is the Conservation Ecology Higher Certificate. It's full time, and students live on campus. They study on campus, and they also go on an academic tour where they are introduced to the practical of the theory that they have studied. So it is a 1 year program, and it is face to face, and it is on campus. So you have to set out a year from about early February towards early December to complete the program.
Okay, and then are there any bursaries that are available for students who are studying at the institution, or are there any financial assistance programs for students who want to come and study through and maybe might not be able to afford the fees?
We have a very limited number of bursaries available, and that is normally based on merit. So we look at the marks that they've achieved in their matric exam. They can apply with their grade 11 marks for the bursaries, but we normally look at the grade 12 marks, and that would determine, in terms of their performance, who will be selected for the bursary. So it will go through a bursary committee, and then the best marks, or the students who achieve the best marks, will then be selected for that. But it's only a limited number. In terms of financial assistance, we normally advise learners, or students rather, or the parents, to look at possibly student loans, at certain financial institutions, to look at student loans. What we also do is, towards the middle of the year, around May, June, we start advertising for partial bursaries. Now, this means that you get a discounted rate for the program. We will determine what that discounted rate will be for 2026 students, but for the 2025 group of students, we ran a campaign where they were discounted at about 60,000 Rand of the program fee. So that is quite a substantial discount, and we call that a partial bursary campaign that we normally run towards the middle of the year. So they can have a look out for that campaign, and then they can also apply for the limited number of AEL bursaries available.
And how then different is the course that you offer from the courses that are available in other institutions, universities or colleges? How different is the course that you offer? Like, what is the difference for someone who's like, okay, I was considering UJ, but now that I've heard about you, why would I benefit more joining the AEL rather than, nothing against UJ, but like just as an example, why would I benefit more joining the AEL rather than me going to FITS or me going to UJ?
Princess, that's a very interesting question, because the AEL's focus is really it is vocationally orientated learning. So in other words, instead of, many institutions focusing a great deal on the theory only, or mostly, the AEL focuses on the theory, but a huge time allocation is done for practical experience. So you would, for instance, be in the lecture room for 1 hour on theory, and then you could be in the field for 3 hours implementing the theory in practice. And then when you have done 6 months of the program, we take you on a 2-week tour, academic tour to the Richtersveld, where you can then apply what you've learned in the classroom. For instance, you learn about environmental threats, but there you will be able to identify the environmental threats, and you will be able to see the environment and understand what should be done to rehabilitate or to protect the environment against these threats. So it's not only theory-based, there's a huge practical component, and I think that makes it really different to what is offered at other institutions. And then also, as I've mentioned, our focus on personal development. And the fact that you are almost, because we're really stringent on the entry level requirements for our program. We want to make sure that you have the capability to manage this academic work, and that you have the potential to pass with our support. And I think at a university, it's a little bit different. We know that many students go to university. They might not complete their first year, or they might drop out, after the first year and say, no, this is not for me. And then they have completed a whole year of a 3-year program, of which they don't have anything to show for. But if they do, the higher certificate in conservation ecology, should that be their interest, and they have the required subjects, then at least after 1 year, they can say, I have a qualification and I can go and study further in a direction that I want. I am more confident. I can study independently. And, without somebody having to hold my hand at university, then they're more ready to go to university and make a success of it. So that is what is different, to coming to the AEL.
I love that. I love the hands-on approach, where people get to learn in the field, because that is also, in a way, work experience, which is so much needed after completing a certificate, a qualification, because you find out that you leave the university or the college. Yes, you know things in theory, but when you get to the field, you are like, oh my goodness, I've been thrown into the deep end, into a den of lions, and I don't know what to do. But I feel like the students from the AEL wouldn't be so overwhelmed, because they have some experience in the field, as well as the theory, which is quite important. So I really love that. And then just to now speak about the institution itself, what is the ultimate goal of the AEL?
Princess, the ultimate goal of the AEL is really to develop environmentally conscious global citizens. In other words, we have students from across South Africa on our campus. And this year we are fortunate to have even a student from the African continent. We are also fortunate to have a student from the USA. And then this brings such great diversity and just like-minded people around protecting the environment. And that is really what we're aiming for. It is, despite what career paths they will follow afterwards, whether they go into an environmentally geared degree or conservation degree, or they might even go and do law, because we also expose them to environmental law. And it doesn't matter what they do, whether they decide, no, but I want to go into business, or I want to study literature after their year at the AEL. They will always be conscious about the environment. They will always wear the hat or the cap of the environment. So that awareness will always be there. And this is how we grow communities of environmental awareness, like-minded individuals. And this is what we're working towards, is to make these communities bigger and bigger, so that there's more like-minded people in many different careers, in many different industries, but they will approach their careers and their organizations with that awareness around the environment. And they could definitely be strong voices for the environment wherever they go, in whichever careers they choose to go.
Yeah. And I know that the AEL is not a gap year program, and it is a full academic year rather that will lead to a NQF level 5 higher certificate. But I wanted to ask, what is your advice to a young person right now who's at home and is watching, and who is taking a gap year because they're not sure what to study? Would you advise them maybe to, rather than join the AEL, what is your advice to a young person right now who's considering taking a gap year, either because they were not accepted into a university or they're just not sure which direction they want to head into in terms of studying?
Certainly, Princess, many young people are unsure. I don't know how many 19-year-olds know exactly what they want to do, um, in terms of their lives and their careers. And this is what makes the AEL's program so unique and special, because if you, a student with an interest in conservation or the environment in general, you have subjects such as physical science, mathematics or maths literacy, life sciences or geography, then this is a program that you can consider, because you will achieve a qualification after 1 year. Even if you're uncertain, but you have an interest in what we do, um, I would advise you not to stay at home, not to, just think, okay, I'm going to rewrite mathematics or physical science this year. I'm going to stay at home. Very few students really rewrite their math successfully and their physical science successfully if they do it from home. What we do is we can help you with that as well. So if you say, I want to go to university, but I didn't do well in maths and physics, so I won't be able to get in for the study program that I want to, what we have opted to do is to accommodate such students and say, come to the AEL, register for the higher certificate in conservation ecology, obtain a qualification, and we assist you on a part-time basis with extra classes in mathematics and physical science. And you can rewrite that middle of the year and at the end of the year to improve your marks. But then you have the best of both worlds. You have a qualification at the end of the year, and you have an opportunity to improve your marks in physics and mathematics, and which puts you in a much better position to be successful at university the following year. So really, please don't sit at home, because that is a build-up for frustration and boredom if you do not have a structured program that you follow. So consider the AEL and have the option of doing something constructive and something that would add value at the end of your year.
Mm. And what are some of the requirements that the institution has for students who would like to join? What is the institution looking for? If there are young people who are watching right now, considering to apply at the institution, what is the institution looking for in them? What qualities are you looking for? What marks are you looking for? Yeah, things like that.
In terms of the subjects and the marks, Princess, we are looking at physical science at 40%, pure maths at 30%, all maths literacy at 55%, all life sciences. If you don't have physical science, if you have life sciences at 40%, and then we also consider geography in certain cases, but that we take case by case. And so geography can be considered, and those are the subjects and the percentages we are looking at. And then really, you must have an interest in, natural sciences or social sciences. If you don't have an interest in it, it will be difficult because that is the foundation of our program. It's where natural sciences and social sciences are combined, and that is what the academic program consists of. And they will learn various themes within the program. Our program consists of about 120 credits, and there's about 10 modules. So they will first look at introduction to conservation ecology, and then we will move on to even data science, environmental law. So they really get a broad perspective in terms of the environment and conservation. So it has to be students or learners who have an interest in that and have done those subjects that I've just mentioned.
I love that. And I just wanted then to find out if there is someone who is watching right now, either a businessman, an entrepreneur, or businesses that are watching, and they are interested in what the institution is doing. Are you okay financially, or are you open to donations to people who would like to donate to keep the work of the institution going forward? Do you receive any support from the government in terms of financial assistance from the government to assist the institution to keep up? Because we know everyone has bills, the lights have to be kept on. Do you receive any assistance? Are you open to donations to people who might be interested in donating to the institution?
Princess, thank you for this question. It's important, and I need to also mention that we are a private higher institution, so we don't get any funding from government, even though we work with government in terms of possibly funding of students who can't afford the course fee. And we also on the lookout for businesses, for organizations aligned with our vision in terms of, developing environmental custodians that they support students who would need bursaries to come and study with us. And we are really open to connect with them, engage around their requirements, and how we can possibly build a partnership in terms of what the AEL can bring to the table and what the organization can bring to the table. And this is really to give students who are in under-resourced communities, come from under-resourced schools, but have the marks and the subjects and the interest, but really can't afford it. And there is where we would really like to take hands with organizations to help those students get to our campus. Definitely.
Amazing. And then do they get a hold of you from the on the same details that you gave out here, or is it different details? And if it's the same, could you just please repeat for someone who has just joined?
Princess, organizations can speak to me directly. And my number is 082 8858 520. They can certainly give me a call and we can have a conversation, set up a meeting, virtual meeting to discuss how we can move forward. That will be fantastic.
Okay, and for those maybe who might be looking to send an email, is there an email address that they can contact you on?
Yes, certainly. It's Heidi at ael.ac.za.
All right. Thank you so much, Heidi, for taking the time to be with us on the show. This was so much fun. And I do hope that learners who are watching, students who are watching, have learned a thing or two, have gotten some information, and now are going to be making obviously informed decisions about their future, about their academics, which is very important in a country where there's over 100,000 students who are left without university placements for 2025. That's really mind-blowing in all the wrong ways. And I'm glad that the institution is doing something about that and giving a better option to students for something else that they can do, and a course that they can study, which will actually impact their lives in a positive way. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, Princess, and for your interest to have this conversation with me. We're really grateful for it. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for joining us on the show. I will see you next time. Goodbye and God bless.